Good evening, everybody. On behalf of the Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter, I welcome you all to this webinar on design thinking, your secret weapon for product success, which will be presented by Ms. Saranya, who is pursuing her final year BE in Computer Science and Engineering at the Nehru Institute of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore. At this time, we request all the participants to please keep your cameras off and your microphones muted. If you have any questions, please save them for the last part of the presentation where we will have a question answer session. May I now please invite Mr. Saravana Kumar, the chairman of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter, to welcome the gathering and also introduce Ms. Saranya, the speaker for this evening. Mr. Saravana Kumar, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Durvesh. Everyone, on behalf of the Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this exciting webinar on design thinking, your secret weapon for product success. Design thinking, a powerful methodology, has the potential to revolutionize the way we approach product development. It shifts the focus from mere problem solving to human centered innovation. By understanding the needs, desires, and behaviors of users, we can create products that truly resonate and make a difference. Today's session will cover the core principles of design thinking, its application in real world scenarios, and the tools and techniques that can help you harness its power. Our esteemed speaker will share valuable insights and practical tips guiding you through the process of ideation, prototyping, and implementation. This iterative process is crucial in today's fast-paced market where understanding user behavior and preferences can make all the difference in the product success. We are happy to have Ms. Saranya Guruvayurappan, a passionate computer science engineering student from the Nehru Institute of Engineering and Technology, who is already making remarkable strides in the fields of data science and innovation. Saranya's achievements include winner of the Smart India Hackathon 2023 and the Women Hackathon 2024, developer of the Visionary Navigation Cane, a groundbreaking assistive technology for the visually impaired, integrating machine learning and IoT technologies. She is also the creator of the Automatic Drug Dispenser, a solution addressing healthcare challenges through Android app development and IoT. She is also the winner of multiple national level hackathons and project expos, showcasing her deep understanding of real world problems and innovative solutions. Her journey reflects a blend of curiosity, determination, and excellence. Please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Ms. Saranya Guruvayurappan. I encourage you all to actively participate in this interactive session, ask questions towards the end of the session, share your experiences, and engage in fruitful discussions. Together, let's explore the limitless possibilities of design thinking and drive innovation in our products and services. I hope you all have a fulfilling and enriching learning experience. Let us now dive into the session and gain valuable knowledge that will empower us to think differently and innovate efficiently. Over to Saranya, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sarana Kumar sir, for this warm introduction about me. At this moment, I thank my college, my department, and my mentors for giving me this opportunity to present such a webinar in a prestigious platform of CSI Coimbatore chapter. So let's dive into design thinking, your secret success for product development. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
So
Yes, it
I'd
is.
like
Please
to
go ahead.
start. Yeah, thank you.
Could
I'd
you
like
please
to
play it
start
in,
with a simple.
sorry, could you please put it in, the mode wherein you have the full screen?
Presentation mode, please.
Is it okay now?
Cool. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let me start with a simple question for you, for of all of you. Have you ever faced a problem in your life which made you so frustrated and made you think that it has a better solution for it? If you are thinking like that, and it is a now it is a better place for you to stay and learn about design thinking process, your secret weapon for product success. And before diving into the agenda of this webinar, I'd like to address you all, and I believe I do have audience from different segments such as educators, students, engineers, and other professionals and managers. I do wanted to talk about the relevance which you have in this webinar. I don't wanted this to be a one-to-one session. I do want an interactive session with you all people, and I want to make a real difference in the way of uh, thinking towards the problem you face. So, if you are an educator, you can design your teaching methodologies so that it benefit your students in a better way. And if you're a student, you can apply design thinking principles in hackathons, projects, and other competitions you are working on. And if you are an engineer, engineers with design thinking qualities are preferred by the companies at this current pace of world, because it reduces the cost which they spend in hiring the designers. So if you are an IT professional or a manager, of course you will be working with clients, and you will be working gathering their requirements and understand their needs, and you will be putting into real time products. So design thinking is not a core subject or a thing which is has to be delivered in a 1 hour session. It is something, a mindset of a person to approach a problem. It is universal and it is common to all, and it is not going to be a boring session to you all. And I ensure that you will be getting some valuable insights from this webinar. So this will be the agenda of our webinar. We'll be looking into what is design thinking and key principles of design thinking, and how design thinking drives product success. And we'll be trying to apply design thinking to your product development process. And I'll also be introducing you to tools and techniques for effective design thinking. And we'll be diving into very interesting real world examples. And we'll also see how to implement a design thinking process in your organization, and what makes design thinking a competitive advantage in the market. Okay, what is a design? A design is a process of working to develop a solution in a conscious and innovative way, which both has a functional and aesthetic requirement that are put forward by a user. I repeat, it is a way of developing a product which has to be satisfying a user need, and we'll be developing the product in a conscious and innovative way by thinking out of box and creating a functional and aesthetic appealing product. So that's what a basic design is. And design thinking is very simple process, a 5-stage process. It is an iterative process. It is not a linear one. You can jump from one stage to another stage as much as you want. And it is a very simple one to understand. First step will be empathizing your end user, and second will be defining your problem statement, and third will be ideating your solutions by brainstorming techniques, and fourth will be prototyping your ideations into real working models, and fifth will be testing. If you just Google it off, design thinking in process in Google, you'll be getting multiple sources of images which specify design thinking process. In most of the cases, you'll be getting only 5-stage process. In rare case, you'll be getting a 6th stage, which is an implementation stage. I also recommend you to practice such a design thinking process in your problem solving era, because implementation will give you a better feedback from the user to improvise your product into the market. And this is something which I got from an interaction design org, which I felt it is a very concise way of trying a design thinking process. So you can see that can see you can jump from empathize to define stage, and after defining, you'll be going to the ideate process. And if you're not satisfied in the prototype, you can just again go to the ideate process, and you can iterate as much as you want. And that's the agile methodology of a design thinker. We are into the next segment, how design thinking drives product success. So I do want to get some answers from the chat box, if I could. I do want a difference between invention and innovation. Could you all please interact? Is I also give you an example. Is a bulb discovered by Thomas Alva Edison an invention or innovation? Yes, just 10 seconds for you to answer in chat box. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll just say that an invention is something which is discovered. Okay, when Thomas Alva Edison first discovered the element which glows, it's just an invention. It became an innovation when it has some use cases for the society. You now understand the difference between invention and innovation. An invention is something a scientific and research oriented approach, and innovation is something a market oriented approach for your product. So I recommend you all to innovate and to cross the invention stage to the innovation stage and design your use cases for your end customers. And the primary objective of product development is to optimize and enhance the products to meet customer needs and increase the market competitiveness by adding the features to the existing product, or you can even invent a new product and market that product in the society, or take an existing product, add features, and discover the shortcomings in the existing product and cover up all those, and they again market it. And this chart is so apt one for you to understand a very good product for the market. It has to meet both all the three: market, technology, and the consumer side. And if you just make a product which is valuable, feasible, and usable by the technology and the customer, and you can term that your product as a viable one for the market. So is it really important to prioritize design thinking in our product development? We understood what is product development, we understood what is design thinking. So why do you want to incorporate design thinking into your product development? So okay, let's go with an example. You see these three products. These are all from top tech companies: Google, Apple, and Philips. These are some products which are subjected to failures, and they are criticized for some reason. And I'll just explain what are the reason, and you will understand why it is important to incorporate design thinking in product development by yourself. So Google Glasses were introduced a long back, and it has a feature of a camera which is able to record the videos, and it's able to translate whatever it sees. So it was introduced for about $1,500, and Google failed at that time. It was a very innovative and wearable product, but it failed. What was the reason behind it was the developers failed to empathize the need of the customers which they are focusing on. They put on the cost for $1,500, and it has of no use, so that people has to buy that. And people also termed those glasses as creepy glasses because no one wants someone to record them at any stage of their time, because it affects their own privacy, and it also has a very probing camera in front of it, which made it less aesthetic. So people haven't preferred, even if they have to buy this for an normal wear purpose. And this is a magic mouse. It hasn't failed completely, but it is criticized for its ergonomic design. The term ergonomics is something human centric, which relates to human centric design. If you just hold the magic mouse for some time, it will cause pain in your palms, and it was criticized for that reason. And it has also a charging port at the backside of the mouse, which made it impossible to use at the time of charging. So Apple, which is a design thinking based principal company, failed at this designing an ergonomic design. They just focused on the aesthetics and minimalistic approach of this mouse, and they launched this product by failing to empathize their users. And the story of Philips Dow Maker is something interesting. Actually, marketers went to empathize the users. Philips on to enter the area of kitchen appliances. They went to India, North Indian side, and they researched that rotis are primary food at that area, and they wanted to invent a product which makes the automated process for making a dough. They made a very good product, and it saves time. It is an innovative product, and they launched in the market. But to their surprise, Philips identified that North Indians were not ready to buy this product, even if it was marketed at the doorstep. So what was the thing they were saying is that dough making is a pleasure time activity for the women household, where they will be sitting with their neighbors and making doughs. So they were not ready to sacrifice their time. So that was the reason Philips first failed in that area, but now it is running successfully. So now I think you will be getting a better idea of why should we incorporate a design thinking process in product development with these failures. So we found why it is important to incorporate design thinking. Now we'll be trying to apply design thinking in our product development. In this segment, I recommend you to think of a product. I'll just take 10 seconds and think of a problem which you wanted to solve, and go with the slides, so that I will be explaining the slides one by one, and you can try solving it by yourself, and you will make a clear understanding of design thinking process by yourself. And this is the first stage of design thinking, which is empathize. Empathizing is nothing but seeing the problem from the end user perspective. You will be into the shoes of your end user and see the problem. You have to understand the problem from the beginner's eye of the user without any judgment. Okay. And not only the user, being a manager or an engineer, you should also empathize your employee point of view, your organizational challenges, so that both of them meet at a point and will give you a clear understanding of the problem, what has to be actually solved. Okay, actually, as we are before we saw that empathizing stage is very important. So here is a very famous quote of Albert Einstein. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solution. So if you empathize the problem, it is easy for you to identify the solution. The next stage is the defining stage. Here I do have a template for you to put your problem which you have in your mind. And let me go with the example first, and you can put the problem in the template by yourself. Okay. So here is a example for a mother to plan her diet for her toddlers to take care of them. Okay. How might we help new mothers to plan convenient and healthy balanced diet so that they can take better care of their toddlers? So here I have replaced the verb, new insight, and target user and end goals. So you can just take a screenshot if you're not able to frame it right now, and make it implemented in the after the session. And I also recommend you to focus the needs. You have to have a better clear understanding of what is a need and what is a want. First, the needs has to be put in the goal, and the wants can be put in the features. So the industrial way of defining a problem is by using user journey maps, where we'll be defining different phases, and we'll be specifying the exact need of the customer at that point of time. And the third stage will be the brainstorming stage, ideation process. Here we will be following two principles, divergent thinking and convergent thinking. And you have to generate as much as ideas as possible, even if it is 100, 40, 100, 150, or not limited to numbers. Okay. You should also incorporate different people in your team when brainstorming. Okay, you should include engineers, managers, end users, and even developers or whatnot. Okay, the person, the stakeholders, everyone should be included in the brainstorming process for a better result. Divergent thinking, you will be generating as much as ideas as possible. In convergent thinking, you will be narrowing it down using the constraints and get an optimal solution. Let's take an example. Rain is a problem, and what are the possible solutions for rain? For us to protect from rain, an umbrella, or stay at home, or even a raincoat, or take a car rather than preferring a bike. So these are all some of the solutions which I ideated instantly. So using some constraints, like if we can't opt for a car when we are going for a short distance, so that will be eliminated. Like this, you have to eliminate all such ideas which is restricted to the constraints, and get an optimal solution. Here we have here we do need two people to walk in a rain, so we chose umbrella as a solution. So I also recommend you not to fall in love with one idea. Even if you feel that 100% that idea will be giving you the optimal solution, you shouldn't just stick on to one idea, and you have to look into others ideas and take features from them, so that you get a better product than you think. And fourth is the prototype stage. Here you do have two types of prototypes: low fidelity prototypes and high fidelity prototypes. In low fidelity prototypes, you will be taking a pen and pencil. I am just speaking about the software development process. You will be taking a pen and pencil. You will be sketching out the application part, and you will be taking it to the end user and asking feedback and iterating your prototype. It is not necessary always to create a high fidelity prototype. In softwares and UI, you will be developing wireframes and simulation models for your customers. But I always recommend to prototype fast and fail fast, so that you get an idea of which and all ideas are not going to work out in this area. Okay. Then next is the testing process. In agile methodology, we do call it as sprints. You should get feedback, and you have to iterate the whole process. That's what a sprint is called in an agile methodology. We plan, design, develop, test, deploy, review, and launch them. Again, we'll be going for several sprints for getting best solution for our problem. Please do follow agile methodology in your organization for getting a very user-centric organization to develop a very good product for your customers. So we are into tools and techniques for design thinking. I'll be introducing you to some tools and techniques. Okay. First one is to empathize the users, empathy maps, which is a very simple way of taking a research from your taking a research or a surveying your end users. The purpose is to understand the user perspective. You'll be collecting what the user says, what the user thinks, what he does, and what he feels. Here is an example of a manager who wanted to organize his tasks, but he feel very overwhelmed by his busy schedule. That's what he thinks, and he doesn't wanted to take too much effort in learning new tools. And he also does something rather than just thinking. He takes a pen and paper and keeps his schedules written in a paper, and he also uses different color pens for marking different kinds of events. He feels frustrated, anxious, he wanted to bury his head, and this gives a clear idea of what is a user thinking. So you have to pick out the important points from this empathy map. Like, he's having a habit of using a pen, paper, and sticky notes to keep track of his tasks. And he is using color pens for differentiating different types of events. And he don't wanted to learn too much about the new tools. So these are the points which he take, and we can develop an application for him, which is very easy to use, which has a color differentiation for him, and it will have a very good organized schedule organizer for him to use. So that's how empathy maps work. And here is another way to empathize your user. One user personas. These are just a biodata kind of thing, which will give the demographic, wants and needs, pain points of your users. It is somewhat complicated from the empathy maps. I always recommend people to use empathy maps for understanding. But in industry point of view, you have to file at least above 30 user personas for getting a clear understanding of your user. And you'll be giving the demographic informations, wants and needs, pain points of the user. You can see a mother, his working mother wanted to make her exercises properly, and she doesn't find time. That is her pain points. So just give a tagline for to address this issue, and you will get a clear understanding about the problem. And next one, we are jumping into the ideation process. In definition, it's just defining process. You will be just going into the templates which we already discussed, and we'll be defining the goal. Now we are going into the ideation process. Here we'll be brainstorming as much as ideas as possible, and it is a creative way for creative thinking way for problem solving. Okay. Here we do have individual brainstorming and group brainstorming, and some other variations. But it is important to look into the principles of brainstorming. You shouldn't criticize any of your members or the stakeholders for their ideas. Okay, let it be very terrible. They can give even irrelevant ideas for the problem, but make sure that you don't ignore them completely. Just stick on to the goal and frame ideas as much as possible. The larger the quantities, the quality becomes better. Okay, build on each other's ideas. Take up each other's ideas, and you can build features on others' ideas also. It is also recommended to have a mixed group of people with different ideas and divergent thinking group for you to have a creative session of brainstorming. Okay. Then I recommend Scamper model for brainstorming process. There are several numerous other models for brainstorming, but Scamper will be covering most of them. And Scamper stands for substitute, combine, adapt, modify, purpose, eliminate, and reverse. Substitute the material which is possible, combine two parts which can be working together, adapt to new preferences of your end users, modify the appearance and presentation of your product, up to date, and you can even change the purpose of the product which you are making, eliminate some parts of the product which are not needed, and reverse the use of the product. So just understand this with an example, clear example. Let's take a coffee mug. Here is a very conventional coffee mug, and you could see there is a combined way. You can see combined way of coffee mug which incorporates two biscuit stand and a coffee mug. So it is an very attractive and aesthetic design for coffee lovers. Okay, and here is something, the purpose is changed. Okay, uh, the the coffee mug can be reused as a container. Okay, uh, next is the coffee mug which is edible. See how out of box they have think and made an edible cup. At the time of ideation process, think of a person who is saying you can eat the cup. Let it be a statement like you can eat, let us make a cup which is edible. So that is how you start developing your ideas in problem solving. So as I said, we do have different methods for brainstorming. For fast idea generation, Crazy Eights, where we'll be taking up each roles for data and management and several hats for making the process easily identified. And for structured sessions, you can use Scamper Round Robin, where Round Robin is a mechanism where everyone will be sitting and discussing about a problem. And remote teams can opt for brain netting and silent brainstorming. And for creative exploration, you can go for role storming and figure storming. These are all just simple concepts. I do not have to explain each of them separately. You could just go for the articles, and these are all just brainstorming methods for you to opt. Just go to the method which suits for you. I have just put into the categories for you to choose. So I do recommend two tools for your innovation and brainstorming methods. One is Miro and another one is Figma. For beginners, I suggest to use Miro. And for software developers and UI designers, I suggest Figma as it is very much advanced than Miro. And let's see an example of how to use Miro in your design thinking process. So just log into myro.com and you will be taken into page like this. And if you wanted to click more templates, you will be getting numerous other templates just give me a minute. Sprint planning, PI planning. These are all user journey maps which we already talked. And if you want to make a Scamper model, just type Scamper and you can preview it and use it. It will be giving very good understanding of the problem. It will be very useful for remote teams. You can just click and share it to your team members who works remotely, and they can also contribute to the brainstorming methods. Sorry. So next section will be really interesting. These are some real world examples about which has successfully implemented design thinking. Apple is of course a design thinking principle oriented company which develops innovative solutions for their users. They have identified their market by creating unique features for their customers, and they have simplified the design till now, like iPads, MacBook, and so on. So Apple is a successful story of implementing design thinking. And what about Spotify? At earlier times, you'll be if you wanted to hear songs, you will be relying on the broadcast radios, or even you will be downloading music music in your mobile phones. So what was the problem which Spotify solved is that you can't organize your playlist in your devices. So Spotify came with an idea of organizing your playlist. They gave you a chance to listen your music, favorite music, anytime, anywhere by just logging into your account, and they gave it a limited subscription cost, which made everyone to purchase for Spotify. And what about Netflix? Netflix is a company which is a DVD supplying company at the earlier stages, and now it is a world top companies for broadcasting movies and series. What is the principle which Netflix followed? They wanted to give a subscription for a user for every accessing all the contents at a place with a single account, so that they can see their favorite movies and series at any time. So speaking about Ola, it is an Indian startup which is also funded by Tata, which is an innovative design thinking process which solved the problem of privacy, and you also wanted to have a transparency in the transportation system. You can just download Ola and you can use it anywhere else when you are into cities, and you can have a transparent pricing on the app, and you do have a tracking mechanism of the drivers, which were all the added features of Ola. Talking about Airbnb, they do have a very good logo which says their innovation. It includes people, places, love, and Airbnb. Airbnb doesn't focus only on the stay. Stay is the basic need of the hotels. Okay, they do give additional experience such as uh, people recommendations and the experience. They Airbnb just focus on the overall experience of your traveling day, and your booking were also very simple. They incorporated very attractive hotel pictures and made users into their application. Next is something which we are seeing at our nearby area, which is Aravind Eye Care system, which Aravind Eye Care just started as a 11-bed hospital, applied design thinking process in their system, and now it is the top in our in India. So they empathized. Aravind is started by Dr. V. Okay, he just understood that 75% of blindness in India is caused only due to the cataract. I do believe that you are all aware of the cataract. It can be removed just by a simple surgery, but uh, people in India are under the poor line, who they were not ready to they can't afford the treatment. So he came up with a problem statement. How can we solve and provide high quality, accessible, and affordable eye care to everyone, regardless of their financial situation? What does he ideated is that he gave subsidized, free, and low cost treatments to the people who are under poor line. Okay, he increased the efficiency of the hospitals, and he also developed a partnership with the other labs in India. They didn't stop with the ideate process. They also prototyped their own models in use. The assembly line model, which made the surgeons to perform 10x procedures than the traditional way. Oral Lab is their own manufacturing unit for their lens manufacturing uh, segment. And community outreach. People, even after providing free and subsidized medical care, eye care system, people were not able to access those. So he introduced telemedicine facilities to put camps at rural areas and make people to come and visit the hospital for taking up the surgeries. Now Aravind performed perform 5 lakhs plus surgeries annually, and it is top performing eye care system in India, and it is also having connections with outer worlds. And next is something very interesting, GVQ Time Cafe at Kochi. It is located in Kochi. The cafe policy is something very different. You have to pay for the time and not the food. You understood? You will be paying for the time you sit and spend in the cafe and not for the food you eat. So GVQ was an cafe which is introduced by a 26-year-old girl, and she formulated a problem statement which goes like, how can we create a cafe experience that prioritize comfort, community, and value for time over traditional food service expectation? You just have to pay 150 for first hour, and for the subsequent hours, you will be paying rupees 1 per minute. It seems very interesting, and you do have two kinds of segments of people who come for eating at the cafe and who come to spend time at the cafe. She provided the aesthetic appearance of the cafe, she provided Wi-Fi, she provided a kind service of food, and that was all the added features. And think and just see how out of box she has thought to frame such a cafe ideology. That's what we learned from GVQ Time Cafe. And I have to say something about my own product, which our team made at SIH, Smart India Hackathon, which is an automatic drug dispenser. Usually, when you visit doctors at hospital, we do have an prescription at hand, and we will be purchasing the medicine at that time of appointment. But there is a problem in huge hospitals to get our medicines in a short span of time, and it will be leading to some other problems also, like spreading of diseases and frustration for waiting times and so on. So we come up with a design for automatic drug dispenser which solves the medication dispensing at the hospital. What is the existing problem which has to be solved is that there should be security measures in the such drug dispensing mechanism. We do have to address those specialized database management and authentication system using our Android application. This dispenser will be working with the Android application where the user can log into their data in their application and get their medicines by just scanning their QR code at their hospital. So we also focused on the special mechanical design of medicines which are kept at the hospital, like tablets, syrup bottles. We have worked with several other drug systems, and we have found out an optimal solution, and it is in current process of getting grants, and we are in the upgradation stage. I just wanted to say this in this moment. And next, how can you implement design thinking in your own organization? It's simple. Just opt for an agile approach. Collaborate with your team members. Have a user-centric mind and always empathize your end users and your customers. Prototype and iterate as much as possible. Have a friendly environment with your co-workers. And you have to embrace your problem solving skill, and feedback loop has to be embraced. Every organization, every recognizable organization do have their design thinking in the design thinking guidelines which are sent to their mails. But what do employees do is that they just read it out once or don't even read it and give mark as read, and they don't practice it actually. But design thinking is not something which has to be put into guidelines. It has to be practiced in real time by engaging your employees in your organization and developing customer-centric solutions for your customers. So what makes design thinking your competitive advantage? Of course, design thinking will be giving a customer-centric solution. which builds up loyalty among the end users, which makes them to get them back again and again for our products and services. As we've discussed before, innovation and differentiation stands up in design thinking. Like Apple, we do innovate new products with new features, which makes people attracted to our product, which is a competitive advantage. And we can adapt flexible changes in our design thinking process. Design thinking process. So we can also develop a sustainable solution for the uh, user perspective. So the key takeaways from this webinar will be: always be user centric, keep asking why to your users, embrace your beginner's mind, collaborate and value diverse perspective of each of the employees at your company or an organization or an educational institution. Do not get caught up on tools. If you are able to use the tools which I mentioned before, Miro or Figma, it's great. If you are not able to use that, it's not a problem. Just make a low fidelity prototype, which you can, and you just have to trust the process. And don't look problems as a frustrating one. Just look it as an opportunity for design thinking. I do believe this webinar has some impact in your way of thinking towards the problem, and keep exploring. Thank you. And if you do have any queries, if you can't ask now, you can just connect with me in LinkedIn and you can ask. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Saranya. That was a very interesting and great presentation. And now we can go on to the questions and answers. If anybody has questions, they can come on with their questions. Okay, there are some questions that we already got during the registration of this webinar.
Okay.
So could you please touch on these questions, Saranya?
Sure, sir. So color theory and typography is something that has to be taken in an UI UX design thinking process. As you asked, I just have to mention it before here. And it has some value in an application which you create. Colors such as red and more attractive colors has to be used in websites such as booking application or food application or something like that. For example, in an other education related application, you have to use a very mild colors which is not harming the users. Again, you have to empathize your users, and you have to define what for you are developing your application, and you have to choose your typography and colors accordingly. And how can design thinking help tackle global challenges such as climate change or social inequality? Okay, as I mentioned before, design thinking is universal, and it can be applied in any of the problem which you think. And in global challenges such as climatic change, you have to empathize. First stage is empathize. You have to understand the exact cause of the problem. It is a huge process. I do agree. Climatic change has several other factors to be looked into. So you have to collect information, gather the data, and you have to work on the data, and you have to ideate, and you have to generate possible solutions. How design thinking is related to academics? As I mentioned before in the relevance slide, we can develop new teaching strategies for your students, and you can see a real impact in their outcomes. And how does design thinking concept will showcase student talents? Yes, students can apply their design thinking principles in hackathons, competitions, and other things as I applied in my own hackathons. So it will really be a benefit for them if they really practice design thinking. How design thinking yields success in our life. So it will elevate you from the problems which you face. It will give a different perspective of your own thinking, and you will be able to solve problems quickly. Let it be a social problem, let it be a personal problem, let it be a problem in your organization. You will be getting more and more happiness when solving a problem. That's what design thinking mindset is all about. Yeah, how to handle interview. So, interview process, you have first step is to empathize your interviewer. Understand what he is expecting from you. Just ideate it in your mind and prepare the answer and just give it to him. And you have to prototype. Just prepare the projects which you have already done and just put in order and deliver it in a correct way. That will be working out with an interview process. Design thinking implemented in academic and what way it is beneficial to students. That's I already answered for the question. Is this a field under threat by AI? Never. AI is something which is developed in the concept of design thinking. Uh, Design thinking needs emotional intelligence. Okay, design thinking needs emotional intelligence, creativity, and empathizing the user, which can't be done by an AI. AI is something which is made for automating the process of a human. Okay, even though you feed the empathy maps or the data you collected, it can't be able to identify the exact problem of the user. Okay, AI can't never replace design thinking at any way. And I can also suggest you to use AI for you to make your design thinking process very effective. Just go on in ChatGPT and ask for the solution. You'll be getting a numerous one. Just pick it out and work on the ideation which is given by the AI, and you can just develop on to that line. Okay, that's an interesting question. And what's the most powerful secret weapon in design thinking? Empathizing. Empathizing is a secret weapon for design thinking. And we can solve most of the problem if we just empathize our users correctly. And that's it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Sarinya. Now may we call on our chapter chairman, Mr. Saravanan Kumar, to make the announcements.
Yeah. I hope you all found today's webinar informative and valuable as well. Thank you, Ms. Saranya, for the comprehensive and informative sessions with real-life examples and strategies for effective design thinking. We hope this session has provided valuable knowledge and sparked ideas that you, our participants, can apply in your own endeavors. Let's take forward the lessons learned today to create products and solutions that resonate and make a positive impact. As part of the announcements, let me share some of the exciting initiatives that our Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter has in store for you. Our primary focus is on knowledge sharing and skill development by means of regular knowledge sharing sessions. We are committed to providing you with continuous learning opportunities. As most of you are aware, we are hosting at least 2 knowledge sharing sessions every month. One on second Wednesday and the second one on the fourth Wednesday of every month. These sessions will feature renowned subject matter experts from academia or industry, as well as passionate, aspiring students who want to share their knowledge like the one we are having today. In an effort to empower visually challenged students, we are very much excited to announce our upcoming special webinar lined up for the visually challenged students, which will be on 11th of December, that is second Wednesday of next month, titled Unlocking Potential, Exploring Tech Careers for the Visually Challenged. This session will be led by Mr. Sivachandran, a subject matter expert, with extensive experience in conducting both online and offline training programs tailored for the visually challenged. Mr. Sivachandan has completed his MA in English and is working for an MNC. He is based out of Coimbatore and he has expertise in computers, teaching, and web accessibility, and has also received many accolades like Lifetime Achievement Award from Bharathiar University and the Best Ambassador Award from SNMB College. And for your information, he is also a visually challenged person. Apart from the above, we are planning to have faculty development programs, industry workshops, collaboration for regional growth by joining hands with other CSI chapters in Region 7, which comprises Tamil Nadu and Kerala, to organize impactful regional level programs. In addition to the above, we are exploring other student-centric activities like IT quiz programs and hackathons. We invite you all to stay tuned and join us in our future sessions to benefit from these exciting initiatives. Once again, thank you all for taking time away from your busy, hectic schedule to join us today. We look forward to seeing you in our future events. Have a great evening and let us continue to innovate and inspire. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saravakumar. It was a wonderful session, and to thank all the speaker, participants, and all those who contributed directly or indirectly to make this webinar a success, may we now invite Dr. Girisan, the Secretary of the Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter, to propose the vote of thanks. Dr. Girisan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Is it clear?
Yeah, loud and clear. Please proceed.
Okay. Good evening to one and all present in this virtual gathering. On behalf of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter, I am here to propose the vote of thanks for today's webinar. Today's webinar on design thinking was presented in a simple and elegant manner by Ms. Sharanya of Nehru Institute of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore. As participants, we were enthusiastic in knowing the nitty-gritties of design thinking, thereby gaining insights on its impact on the product innovation. Saranya, you have explained about the topic in a very constructive manner within the stipulated time of 45 minutes. Many thanks for accepting our invitation and delivering the talk. My gratitude goes to the 45 plus participants who took time in attending this webinar, which was organized by our CSI Coimbatore chapter. We also expect your earnest participation in all our future events to be organized by CSI. My thanks to our office staff, Mr. Durvesh, for his coordination rendered today evening, and the chairman of Coimbatore chapter, Mr. Saravakumar, for his welcome address and guest introduction. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank you all indeed and best wishes for taking away the key points of this webinar and to be implemented in your career. Thank you and good evening to one and all once again.
Thank you, Dr. Girisan. Just an announcement that the feedback link will be active for the next 1 hour. It will be closed at 8:30 p.m. tonight. Thank you and good night to all.